Hi. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Love and Life, the channel that shares knowledge for holistic personal development through great books. There is a marvelous book that is so simple that even a 6-year-old could understand it. Yet it created a global sensation since its publication in 1998. The elite and the successful call it The Awakening of Life. That book is the modern classic Who Moved My Cheese, written by Spencer Johnson, one of the most respected authors in the world. Through a simple fable about two little people and two small mice searching for cheese in a maze, he revealed a major issue of modern society: that more and more people are trapped in their own self-depleting minds. The typical example is overthinking, complicating everything until they push themselves into a mental dead end and reject change. If you are feeling anxious, confused, or stuck in endless thoughts, this book might be your motivation and your remedy for change. Now, let's listen to a sharing from Love and Life titled The Core Way to Stop Overthinking through the novel Who Moved My Cheese. The fastest way to destroy yourself is to think too much. The story tells about two little people named Hem and Haw, and two small mice named Sniff and Scurry living together in a maze. Their daily task is to search for cheese. One day, as usual, while running through the maze, they discovered Cheese Station C, a huge place filled with delicious cheese. At first, all four were diligent. They woke up early, used their instincts to find food, and enjoyed working hard. But soon, when they believed they had found an endless source of cheese, the two little people began to change. They started sleeping late, stopped running, and became lazy. They no longer worried about finding cheese every day. Their complacency grew, and so did their weight. The two mice, on the other hand, remained cautious. Every day, they inspected the cheese station carefully to see if anything had changed. The little people believed that they could live comfortably like this forever. But one morning, all the cheese was gone. The disappearance shocked them. At first, they were frightened, then angry, blaming each other and shouting at some imaginary thief who stole their cheese. They argued, cursed, and eventually collapsed in hunger and despair. Why did the author create both people and mice as the main characters? The difference between humans and animals lies in our ability to think. But sometimes, complex thinking itself can trap a person inside the maze of their own mind. The two little mice never overanalyzed. When the cheese disappeared, Sniff and Scurry immediately decided to change. They tied their shoes and ran through the maze to look for a new cheese station. Meanwhile, Hem and Haw kept analyzing the situation over and over again. They wondered what had happened, why this happened to them, and who was to blame. They filled their minds with questions and confusion. While Sniff and Scurry had already found a new station full of cheese, Hem and Haw were still standing at the empty spot, drowning in the pain of loss. In fact, what hurts you most is not losing something or someone, but the constant internal battle you fight against yourself. Mental exhaustion and overthinking are the fastest ways to destroy your spirit. In psychology, there is a term called rumination, which comes from the Latin word meaning to chew again, just like cows or sheep chewing their food repeatedly. A person who ruminates keeps thinking about the same problem again and again, trapped in a loop without ever reaching a solution. Hem and Haw fell into that trap when they lost their cheese. And you, Are you clinging to your own piece of cheese? Are you torturing yourself with endless thoughts about something you lost or failed to achieve? If only I had tried harder. If only I had chosen differently. Why did my boss look at me that way? Why didn't she reply to my message? Why doesn't my mother trust me? These are the kinds of thoughts that consume your mind. Overthinkers are often oversensitive. Even small things can haunt them for days. This mental pattern is addictive. If you are not aware, you fall deeper into confusion, unable to escape. The negative emotions that come with it are like a swamp, suffocating but strangely seductive, draining your strength until you have no power left to get out. The late writer Duong Dan once said, "Your problem is that you read too little and think too much." Indeed, many people at night imagine 1,000 roads for their future, but in the morning, they still walk the same old path. If your worries keep repeating without any real action, they will grow like a snowball until they crush you. No one can save you at that point except yourself. You must break the emotional cage with action and escape the maze in your mind. The root of all misery is thinking too much and doing too little. Among the too little people, Ha was the first to save himself. He decided not to sit there waiting to die. He planned to go back into the maze and search for cheese like before. Hem tried to stop him, saying, "What if we can't find any? What if something bad happens?" But Ha no longer wanted to think so much. He forced himself to move. Weak and scared, he walked through the maze, sometimes finding a small, moldy piece of cheese and eating it. Slowly, he regained his strength. His mood improved. Whenever he felt hopeless, he told himself, "Even if what I'm doing doesn't feel comfortable, it's still better than sitting here starving." He stopped overthinking and kept moving. In the end, Ha found a new cheese station, Station N, just like the mice. But this time, he didn't become complacent or dependent. Every day, he ate his cheese, then ran through the maze to keep exploring. Hem, however, stayed behind, still complaining about the past, waiting for death to come. This reminds us of the famous glass of water experiment in psychology. A professor once held up a glass of water and asked his students, "How heavy is this glass?" Some said 5 grams, others 10. The professor smiled and said, "Its weight depends on how long you hold it. At first, it feels light, but if you hold it all day, your arm will ache." The solution, he said, is simple. Put the glass down. The longer you hold your burdens, the heavier they become. Once you put them down, you are free. The root cause of anxiety is thinking too much and doing too little. Overthinkers always want more information. They wait for everything to be perfect before taking action. But the desire for perfection only creates more problems. Endless thinking drains the energy you need to solve them. The best way to stop draining yourself mentally is to stop looking outward and focus inward. Concentrate on the present. If you lose a piece of cheese, go find another one. If you fail an exam, prepare better next time. If your boss looks at you strangely, focus on doing your job well today. If someone says something that hurts you, go exercise, arrange some flowers, or do something that brings you joy. One action is better than 1,000 thoughts. One change is more valuable than endless hesitation. Instead of torturing yourself, take action to break the deadlock. If someone took your cheese, let them. Many people still wonder, "I know overthinking is bad, but I can't stop it. What should I do?" The truth is, you overthink because you still expect too much. In the book, the maze represents the complexity of life and the human mind, while the cheese represents the things we desire most at different stages. Maybe a job, a relationship, money, beauty, recognition, or success. We believe that getting the cheese will bring happiness, but once we have it, we become dependent. When we lose it, we feel broken. It's a vicious cycle. Before having cheese, you crave it. When you don't get it, you doubt yourself and blame fate. When you have it, you get comfortable. When you lose it, you panic. This cycle continues endlessly unless you wake up. Life will always change. When unexpected things happen, if your heart still clings to expectations, your emotions will collapse. Psychology calls this the Wallenda effect, named after a high-wire performer, Carl Wallenda. He always succeeded when he focused fully on the act itself. But once, before performing, he kept repeating how important the show was and that he must not fail. That day, he fell to his death. Psychologists later explained that he lost focus by worrying about failure instead of concentrating on the act. This mindset makes people anxious, tired, and self-destructive. So, the best way to stop overthinking is to act. And the way to maintain action with freedom and joy is to stop fixating on results. When you stop clinging to any piece of cheese, when you no longer think, I must pass this exam, I must earn this much money, she must love me, people must respect me, then life becomes lighter. Whatever happens, whatever others say, you stay calm and unshaken. Letting go of expectations does not mean giving up. It means freeing yourself to act without fear. As the scientist Faraday once said, pursue success wholeheartedly, but don't expect success. The result is often success. Each of us is a shining star in our own sky, but just a speck of dust in someone else's world. Placing expectations on others or on material things only wastes your life. You will realize that letting go of expectations is the core way to stop overthinking. It helps you find peace, freedom, and real happiness. Then you will no longer ask, who moved my cheese? Because it won't matter anymore. When you have cheese, stay humble and grateful. When you lose it, let it go. Don't think too much. Simplify things. Act immediately, just like the little mice. And most importantly, expect nothing from anyone or anything. As the spiritual master Mira Alfasa once said, I simply act and do not worry about the result. If it fails, I accept it. When Who Moved My Cheese was first published, it became a global bestseller for over 20 years. It inspired millions to find new opportunities in life. Many see it as a lesson about stepping out of the comfort zone and embracing change. But there are still people who want to change, yet cannot. They suffer from mental exhaustion, fear, procrastination, depression, overthinking. At first, they are like Hem, angry and doubtful. Later, they become like Haw, calmer, braver, taking the first step. But the best way is to live like the little mice, stay present, let go of expectations, think less, and do more. There is a saying, life means to live it, not to think about it. On the journey of life, the slowest step is walking in circles with endless thoughts, and the fastest step is moving forward with all your heart. Don't look back at the past you can't fix. Don't worry too much about the future that hasn't come. Enjoy the beauty of this moment now. Simplify what is complicated. Let go of attachments and expectations. You will naturally know what truly matters and what doesn't, and you will become a simpler, freer person. Finally, I'd like to offer a few lines. Spring is beautiful when flowers bloom. Summer is lovely when the wind fills the sky. Autumn is gentle with its full moon. Winter is pure with falling snow. But the most beautiful season in life is when the heart is calm and free from turmoil. May every season of your life be the most beautiful. Thank you for listening. If you found this video helpful, please share it with those who need it. Don't forget to give it a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to catch new videos every week. Once again, thank you sincerely, and see you in the next video.